it's Dr. D. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And we are going to talk about what to do as you prepare for your first speech. Whether that speech is a persuasive speech or introduction speech, you still need to prepare for that speech. So, what we always say is practice, practice, practice. So, you want to actually, if you're freehanding it, not with an outline, you want to write down what you're going to talk about. Usually, like any story, I want you to think about this speech as a story. So, like any story, it needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. I want you to get into the mindset of service, because when you are doing a public speaking or you're a communicator, you are serving information to your audience. So, what does that look like? I want you to think about your restaurant experience. When you walk into a restaurant, they welcome you and they guide you to your seat. They give you a menu. They tell you what the specials are and get you really excited about the experience, the dining experience that you're about to have. The same thing is true as a public speaker, communicator, storyteller. You have got to get your audience so excited that they're salivating to hear what you're going to say. So most introductions have 5 parts to them. You grab the audience attention, you tell them what the topic is, you tell them the purpose, you tell them your credibility, and then lastly, you give them kind of some main points that you're going to say. Same kind of setup as a server walking you to your seat, giving you a menu, showing you what the specials are, getting you prepared for your dining experience. So after you get the menu and you've decided what's going to happen, they serve you next 3-part meal. So they serve you a protein, they serve you a starch, and they serve you a vegetable. That's just the typical, let's go with the typical dining experience. Same thing is true for you, unless your instructor says otherwise. There's usually going to be 3 parts to the main idea, main points, the body of the speech. So there is going to be 3 things you need to say about that particular topic. And then lastly, you need to give the dessert, the conclusion, something that's memorable, a memorable closing that helps someone remember the taste of what you said throughout this entire presentation. You want to make sure when they leave your expert space, because you're the expert at that moment, that they remember something special about your speech, no matter what the topic is. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're doing that. The conclusion, depending on the type of speech you're doing, needs to have a clincher, something to really get your audience going. Now, in a persuasive speech, that's usually some action steps. In an informative speech, you want to leave them with a quote, something they can remember. But in everything that you do, have fun, enjoy it, really, really enjoy what you're going to be talking about. You have to be the expert. You have to love what you're talking about. Even if you don't, you still got to convince us that you love it. You need to have that energy, that energetic energy that they just know for a fact you love this information and they love hearing you talk about that information. Okay? This is your story. This is your voice. Make it as unique as possible. Give that delivery that only you can do. Make sure that we could see your visual aid if you have one. Make sure you have the right camera placement. Make sure that you've practiced it. There's certain points where you need to actually look at your audience. Practice actually looking at your audience at significant times in your speech. I suggest anytime you're shifting, you look up to make sure and check that your audience is still with you. So, for example, I had to do a scripted speech to over 600 women. The script was not mine, but I had to read it. But I documented, put little parts in the speech where I was going to look up and engage in audience participation. Have the audience participate with me. And I had to signal them. It was a call and response kind of situation. Even though that presentation was not mine, I had to make it mine. I had to give it my own personality. I had to make sure that that presentation was something, it looked like something I made and I made up, and I took complete ownership of that speech. The same thing is true for you. Take ownership of your speeches. Know that this speech is the best speech that is going to be at that time. Even if it's not, doesn't matter. That in that moment in time, you are the expert. You know everything that's going to go with it. You've done the research. This is the best that they're going to get. Make it an Oscar award winning speech, applause worthy, something that you can get a SAG award for. That is your responsibility for those couple of minutes. And speech size depends on your class that you're in. So some speeches may be 2 to 3 minutes, depending on the type of speech. Like a persuasive speech, I would say 5 to 7. 10 minutes is like the max you should go for a persuasive speech. But an informative speech, it should be anywhere from, depending on the subject matter, 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, so have fun with this. Enjoy. You are the actor. You are the one that is going to let the world know that this is the best subject at this time, because you are the one that are talking about it. Guess what? That means you are the main character. Always remember that. Enjoy your day, and thank you so much for listening.